Okay, you guys, so this week your butterfly is dry, all right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our inside details. We're gonna use a Sharpie instead of paint, okay? And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be adding this little landscape to the inside, okay? You can see you've already got your horizon line right here. So that way it just makes it easier for you to see where that goes. And then you've got a little circle up here for the moon, okay? It's gonna be a nighttime, kind of like a silhouette scene. Now, before we draw on the canvas, right, on the canvas, what I'm gonna have you do is practice making some trees. You guys are gonna use a blank page. You're not gonna use a page with a butterfly on it, but it's just good to practice, okay? So you see these little trees right here, I like to call them scribble trees. And especially as small as they are, it's not gonna take very much effort to get them, okay? But they are kind of like a tall triangle shape, right? So the first thing I want you to do is very small, because your trees are gonna be very small, kind of draw a tall triangle like this with your Sharpie. And we're gonna practice them in Sharpie because we're gonna be doing them in Sharpie, okay? Just so you can kind of get an idea of the shape of the tree, right? Now we don't want it to look like a triangle when we're done. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice making a tree. We're gonna draw a straight line down like this, and that's gonna be for this trunk. It's gonna be like we're taking this triangle and cutting it in half, okay? And then you're gonna scribble a little bit down one side and scribble a little bit down the other. So I'm just gonna do, it's just little short motions. Okay, a lot of people think when you're scribbling, you're out of control. But this is a controlled scribble. We're just gonna do a little bit of scribbling. Now, let's say you're doing this and your first tree doesn't look very good. Let's say I did it and I was just out of control. That is what an out of control scribble looks like, right? Well, that still looks kind of cool, okay? It's just a little too big. Then you practice again. You make another line, okay? And then you do a little scribble. You can also just bring the lines out like this, okay? Like where you're just going like this over and over again, except really close together. That would work too, okay? So just practice a few tiny trees. You're gonna get like a half a sheet of this paper to practice on. You can add a little thing at the bottom, okay? Once you're done practicing and you've got a couple trees that you think you like, then we'll move on to our canvas, okay? All right, so now we're ready for the canvas. And the first thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of trace this line right here, the horizon line, okay? Then we want this part of the horizon line to be wider. So what we're gonna do is just kind of make it, it's almost like two hills coming together. So you make this section wider. And then you fill it in with your Sharpie. If your Sharpie stops to work really good, you have your practice paper still, you can kind of scribble on it and it'll start to work a little bit better. Sometimes paint does something to the tip of the Sharpie. Okay. Now down here, we're gonna have water. And what I want you to do for your water, if you'll look, you can see right here, I did a few little scribbles, okay? So all I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of gently scribbling like this to make it look like a water, like a lake or something, okay? You can practice it on your paper first, but you're just doing some really gentle scribbles. All right, but we don't want to do our reflections like this until we do our trees, all right? So now the next thing is the trees. I'm gonna do a short tree right here, and then a taller tree over here. I'm just gonna do two. Technically, you could do more than two if you want to, okay? And I'm gonna scribble in here to make sure my Sharpie's working really good. Sometimes twisting it a little bit as you go helps, okay? And then I'm gonna start with my, actually I'm gonna start with my smaller tree. Now, if you make a mistake on these, then that's okay, because your teacher can help you fix it. Okay, so you just raise your hand and you say, I made a mistake, and your teacher can probably help you with that. Just Just doing a couple of little trees. I will say I like on this one how these two trees were closer together. So I think I am going to come through and do another tree right here. So I'm going to end up with 3. It's up to you. Okay, there's my 3 trees. So now I want to do a little reflection. So this is just going to be a very loose kind of scribble like this. This one's medium, this one's small, and then this one's kind of big, right? So there's our reflection in the water. All right, the last thing we're gonna work on right now is we're gonna work on this moon, okay? So what I'm gonna do is just kind of outline it. We're not gonna fill it in, we're gonna let it be just kind of creative. And we're just gonna do some little lines like this around the edge. And then if you want to, you could do like some little stars in the sky. Maybe even like a little comet or something over here. I'm gonna do a few over here. And then that's it for this project. That's all we're gonna do. Okay. When you're done, we're gonna leave it like this. And then what we're gonna do is move on to our next thing. And that's gonna be prepping for next week's project. So I'm gonna come back on here and show you what to do to prep for next week's project. All right, guys, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get a paper and it has 6 circles on it, okay? And we're gonna do those really cool line drawings next week. We're gonna do these botanical line drawings. And I had to mix some colors to get the right color, but you will not have to mix any colors. They'll just be on there. And we're gonna do some finger painting. How cool is that? You don't usually get to finger paint. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our colors, whatever sticks. Everybody's gonna get the same 6 on this one, okay? And you're gonna choose a color to start with. So I'm gonna start with this green, okay? And you're gonna take your finger and put it in the green, and then you're just gonna fill in your circle. Okay, it's okay if it's not perfect. You just want it to be to the best of your ability, that circle shape. It can be a little bit wonky, and that's okay. Okay, and remember, we're gonna do something cool with these next week. So there's one, okay, and then you've got a wipey, so you're gonna wipe your finger. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this color right here. It's kind of a really pretty mauve. These are kind of earth tones is what we were going for on this project, since they're going to be botanical. That word botanical means like flowers or trees, any kind of plant or anything that grows like that is botanical. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe my finger. And then I'm going to do, I don't know how this purple color turned out, so I'm going to try it. Very earthy. 3. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe my finger. And then I'm going to do my last 3. So I'm going to do this blue. And your colors might be a little bit different than mine. I was just trying to get some earth tones. But I'll give you a good assortment. I might even give you 8 and then you choose 6. Might be how that goes. Okay, and then I'm going to do this gray color. Actually, I think I'm going to do this color and then I'm going to do gray. Ooh, that's pretty. That's dark. Wipe your finger. Okay, and then when you're done, you can go wash. Ooh, watch out. You might get some paint on it elsewhere, and that's okay. When you're done, go wash your finger. In the, you can wipe it, but then also go wash it. And then we're gonna write our name on these and keep them here and finish them next week, okay?